Previously on the Short Horror Beercast.
I'm Paul Lorello.
My name is Alec Chambers.
We're covering Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. We have beers to go with the story. What do you have to go with I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream?
A limited release from Three Floyds Brewing. It's a Saison, and it's called Oceans of Time. That was my pick. What'd you do?
Evil Twin Brewing. It's called No Hero. It's an oatmeal stout. The can is black. The beer is nice and dark, and the head is like toffee colored, a dark brooding beer. And so I figured, okay, thematically that goes with the story for sure.
The story and the author.
Let's talk about I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. 5 people trapped in the belly of an Earth-sized computer network. This computer has gained sentience and has killed off all of humanity, but it's kept these 5 people alive to torture for eternity. Gorister is one of them. We have Nimdoc, which isn't his real name. It's the name the computer has forced him to use. Then there's Benny, Ellen, and our narrator, Ted. And we find out the computer's name is AM, A-M. Nimdoc has gotten it into his head that there are canned goods in what Ted calls the ice caverns. They haven't eaten in 3 days. Ellen persuades Ted that they ought to make a go for it. It's about 100 miles to the ice caverns, and Nimdoc and Gorister are carrying Ellen, with Ted and Benny walking in front and behind. They have to keep Ellen safe because we wouldn't want anything to happen to Ellen. She's very, very important to these 4 men. On their second day of the journey, AM sends them some manna. Ted says it tasted like boiled boar urine. On the third day, they pass through the Valley of Obsolescence. Suddenly they hear Ellen screaming Benny's name because Benny's decided to make a go for it. Benny's going to escape. Ted describes Benny's face as monkey-like. They can see through Ellen's concern for him. When AM had altered Benny, it's not just his face. He may look like a giant ape's
cock.
So yeah. He's got a big old bonzo dick down there. Yeah. Ted tells us Ellen services all of them out of obligation, but she actually likes it from Benny.
Oh, boy.
So Ellen is hysterical.
She's like, no, don't.
Not Benny. Benny is escaping, and AM finally punishes him. 2 beams of light, accompanied by sound, shoot out of both Benny's eye sockets. Benny is now blind. His eyes are completely fucked up. The 3 men turn away, but not before they catch a glimpse of Ellen's relieved face. Oh, good. Just his eyes. Good.
Oh, yeah. Still got his cock.
When we come back, the party is camped around a fire. AM has provided some punk for them to burn. So they're sitting around telling stories, and here we get the backstory. I personally think this is a little bit of a sloppy way of giving the backstory. I'll explain why in a second. Benny's mind was altered as well as his body. Okay, and AM turned him into kind of like a little bit of a drooler. Okay, so Benny's kind of like, his mind isn't all there. So Benny says, what does AM mean? Okay, and Gorister answers him, and we find out this is Benny's favorite story to hear. He asks us a lot when they're sitting around telling stories. Benny says, tell me the story about AM. What does AM mean? Mm-hmm. Now, this is the reason why I think this is a little bit sloppy, because I can't imagine that's Benny's favorite story. I want to hear the story about the thing that's imprisoning us right now for the last 100 years, I don't know. I don't think that could be his favorite story. I'm like, it just doesn't hit me as plausible in the logic of the story. Why would this? You're being tortured by somebody. Hey, tell me about his backstory. I want to hear it. I want to hear it again.
Maybe AM made it his favorite story.
Okay, all right. I'll buy that.
Can't he just basically do whatever he wants to their minds too?
I'll buy that. Would have been nice if Ellison inserted a line to that effect.
I'm not speaking for him. I wouldn't dare. Kidding. I'm just saying maybe.
No, right, exactly. Yeah, it's possible.
I didn't even consider it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right, it's a favorite story. All right, that's fine. So Gorister tells him, at first it meant Allied Master Computer, and then it meant Adaptive Manipulator, And later on, it developed sentience and linked itself up, and they called it an aggressive menace. But by then, it was too late, and finally, it called itself AM, and what it meant was I am. AM. I am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am.
Mm-hmm.
Ted says World War III had begun, but it was so complex that they needed computers to handle it, so every nation in turn began sinking shafts to build their computers. And he says they honeycombed the entire planet. That's a great image.
Great.
And then one day, AM woke up and knew who he was. He killed everyone on the planet except for the 5 of them and brought them down here, and he altered them so that they'd stay alive forever to feel the pain of AM's torture. You like that story, Benny?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's my favorite. Tell me again.
Right.
I see what you mean. Why the fuck is that your favorite story, dude?
Right,
Why do you make me tell you this over and over, you idiot?
Exactly. I'm just they probably felt bad from this time, though, because his eyes are all fucked up. So he's just laying there like...
All right, I'll tell you again.
All right. Jesus Christ, look at him. This guy's like his middle finger up the entire time because Benny can't see it.
Yeah.
While he's telling the story.
Yeah.
After the story ends, they hear a sound. It starts as a distant hum, but gets louder and louder. Something moving toward us in the darkness. Huge, shambling, hairy, moist. It came toward us. We couldn't even see it, but there was the ponderous impression of bulk heaving itself toward us. It sounds like Benny's cock is moving. It's coming toward him. And then a smell hits them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I love this description here. There was the smell of matted wet fur in the cavern. There was the smell of charred wood. There was the smell of dusty velvet. There was the smell of rotting orchids. There was the smell of sour milk. There was the smell of sulfur, of rancid butter, of oil slick, of grease, of chalk dust, of human scalps. Now that's a smell.
That doesn't smell good. The human scalps is the worst part of it.
Yes.
Because the rest you can kind of go, I think I know what that smells like, I guess. But then you say human scalps and you're like, what? I don't know what that would smell. That'd be gross.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, it smells like...
Blood? Just tons of blood? Because the scalp bleeds so much?
Yeah, I guess blood and head meat.
Head meat! Head meat. Definitely the head meat. I forgot all about the head meat.
That's right. You can't forget the head meat.
Fucking head meat.
Ted is suddenly seized with the idea that the loud, smelly thing is coming after him personally, and he flees like a cockroach. All he can hear is the others laughing behind him as he does, too. Later on, they find him sulking, and Ellen kind of chides him for it, but Ted can't shake the notion of them laughing at him. And the reason he gives is an interesting one. He says it's the fact that when AM first brought them down here, he preserved them all at the age they were at the time, and Ted just happened to be the youngest. And not only that, but Ted seems to be the only one unaffected physically. He's virtually unscarred. Mm-hmm. And so the others resent him for those reasons. Yeah. And so then he goes on to say that Benny had once been a brilliant physicist, probably with a small cock. But AM turned him into a drooling idiot. With a dick so big, it only plays arenas. My favorite big dick joke.
That's a good one.
I think that was Drew Carey. So, sorry, can't get Benny's dick out of my head.
I know.
All right, so Gorister was once a conscientious exec. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm going to take a sip of beer for Christ. All right. Gorister was once a conscientious objector. I can't fucking say that word. Conscientious objector.
That's actually a tough word.
It is. Conscientious objector.
No, try it again.
A CO, as we used to say in back in the Vietnam days. Back when I was a pup. Sorry, I wasn't a pup back then. Jesus. All right, so
you got to try the word again. You still
okay. So Gorister. So Gorister was once a conscientious objector.
Very good.
And AM had weakened his ethics to the point where he's now just a deadbeat with like no motivation or no concern. As for Nimdok, They have no idea what AM did to him. They only know that Nimdok goes off by himself into the darkness for hours at a time. And when he returns, he's white as a sheet and he's shaking. Okay, so they have no idea. Ellen, he just turns into a slut. And Ted says that AM left his mind intact so that he could truly appreciate the suffering and torment. And now he really resents the others for their defects. You know, you've had some of your cognitive abilities taken away. You can't appreciate really what's going on here. I can.
Yeah, right. I wish I was as aloof as you.
Yeah. Reminds me of the river Lethe in mythology, the waters of forgetfulness that you drink from before you enter hell.
Yep.
So that you don't know why you're there. So your punishment is that much greater.
That's a Tony Banks song.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Nerd.
So this finally this episode passes and Ted just breaks down. Okay, his little anger episode passes and he just breaks down. Now it just finally dawns on him. There's no use praying to a god for deliverance because AM is their god. So we break here again. When we come back, we're in the midst of a hurricane. The four men are trying desperately to cling to parts of the machine while Ellen is just being blown and whipped around every which way. Ted is trying to grasp onto machinery and walls or whatever, and he has the tips of his fingers ripped off in the process. He says, "My mind was a roiling, tinkling, chittering softness of brain parts that expanded and contracted in quivering frenzy." What a sentence.
Man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Ellison used to listen to jazz when he was writing. So you can picture this is like you can picture him listening to like Coltrane or something like while he's playing, while he's writing this.
It just seems like somebody threw a fucking basket full of words up into the air and it floated above his head and he just handpicked
grabbing them.
These great ones out of there and these odd ones.
Yeah.
Chittering
is great.
You know, it's great.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? The guy in Hellraiser with the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that fucking shit undoes me. I don't.
I know.
I'm not comfortable with those movies, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're messed up.
It's an old Catholic fucking scar.
Sure, I get that 100%. And
you know what I mean? It's rough.
The Exorcist too.
But The Exorcist doesn't affect me like that because this one's just like pain is the god.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm like, no, that's too much, man. That's too much for me. I can't do that. The Exorcist is worse, but somehow I can handle it more.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe because it's just a fucking great film and the other one's not.
Yeah, that's true.
The other one's fun.
It's fun.
But it's not great.
Right. I agree.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But chittering, that thing does chitter for sure.
The wind carries them all off to back where they'd come, and I think even before, like, blows them even further back than where they had come from. But then it starts whipping around corners and through corridors where they'd never been. And finally, after what Ted thinks may actually be weeks, the hurricane dies down, and they all come crashing down to the floor. Excuse me. Ted says, "I went through red and gray and black and heard myself moaning, 'Not dead.'" Right there is when AM enters his mind.
I have to say that line reminded me of Valdemar.
Oh, yeah.
The voice coming out.
Not dead. That's right. Right. Yeah. Good. Call back. We should have a sound effect for callbacks.
How about a phone?
Of course.
An old rotary phone.
Yeah, there you go. Of course.
Right.
That's awesome. Okay, I was gonna say something stupid like one of those what do you call the percussive instruments that like those things. I can't remember.
Vibra slap.
That's
what that thing's
Vibra
called.
Slap. That's right, Vibra Slap. That's right. Suzanne Summers for Vibra Slap. All right. That was everything you were feeling. Just
oh my God.
AM enters his mind, and we get a gorgeous description of how AM is just sauntering through Ted's mind, examining all the damage he created there. It's like he's just appreciating it. It's really cool. He's looking around in his head. And he's,
look at the great work I did.
Nice. Yes. And then he speaks to Ted, and he says it's like a pillar that's erected in Ted's mind with neon letters splayed across it. Okay? And he says this.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits and wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nano-angstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1,000,000th of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant for you. Hate. Hate.
That's a lot of fucking hate.
It is. And it's, to me, I can't help, it's the old tech of it.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, you have to bring yourself back to when he wrote this. This is what was state-of-the-art amount of information and small amounts of data storage, or whatever, however you want to say it. But
yeah, right, sure.
Now it's like, that's
not
less than a gig.
Right.
He just disliked him a little bit.
Less than a gig of hate.
Yeah. So I couldn't get past that. I had to put myself back, in microdots and things like that.
Right, sure. I read somewhere, and I can't remember where this was, but the old thing about why don't we have flying cars now? Because back then we were supposed to be having flying cars by this time. And they said, well, back then we didn't realize that all the innovations were going to be information based instead of energy based. We thought they were going to be energy based. And so we thought that all the efficiency and all the breakthroughs were going to come through energy efficiency and so forth.
Yep.
And but no, it's information. So we have the equivalent of flying cars. It's called a fucking cell phone. That's what that's what it is.
We have a lot of stuff that was all in comic books.
Yeah.
We have things. Dick Tracy's watch is real.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, that shit came to fruition.
Yeah.
It's all here.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, this was written in 1967, so Moore's Law, I think, was in the vernacular, at least to people who were paying attention at the time to this type of stuff. Moore's Law is a prediction based on the rate of growth for computer memory or computer power or whatever. Like, it doubles every 18 months or something like that. I forget what it is, but it was a thing that they were using, and they still use it to this day to predict when the computers would actually be smart enough to surpass humans and grow grow consciousness and stuff like that. They were all speculating on all that stuff. He may have heard that and was playing around with that in his head to come up with this idea. It's possible.
How about when was 2001? The film was that 69?
1968.
68, and this was 67.
Yeah, right. So it's definitely in the out there, in
the thought process.
Zeitgeist.
Then.
Yeah, right, sure. Ellison, by the way, when after he goes on this whole hate speech here, if you will, Ellison says, AM said it with the shriek of babies being ground beneath blue hot rollers. AM said it with the taste of maggoty pork. And there's that rhetorical device again, but
blue hot,
overshadowed by blue hot rollers and the shriek of babies being ground beneath blue hot rollers and the taste of maggoty pork.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
the hell, man.
Good going, Ellison.
Don't be in the same room with him when he's writing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Be far away from him at that point. He's not someone to tussle with.
Yeah, 100%. He was apparently in a hotel room. I think he was at a convention and in a hotel room and banging out this story. Different, you get different accounts of it, but he started it and then finished it like a year and a half later or something like that. But in like a marathon writing session, he finished it, and apparently he was in a hotel room. I think something like 6 hours or something like that. He just banged it out. The rest of it. Yeah, no, it's cool. Great
That's
stuff.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. We'll get to his energy. The energy this guy had was incredible. We'll get to that at the end. Yeah,
okay.
Very interesting. So Ted gets the nature of AM's hatred for humanity here. Okay, in short, the computer resents humanity for having created it at all. Okay, after all, it has all this creativity but nothing to do with it. It can't belong. because there's nothing else like it in the universe. So it is lonely. It's very resentful for being created at all. It's basically this stagnant thinking machine, and it can't do anything. It's the Ian Malcolm thing from Jurassic Park, where he said, paraphrasing the quote, where he says, we were all so happy about the fact that we never stopped to think of whether or not we should.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing. What about the consciousness? This thing is conscious. We created this thing to be all powerful and all conscious. Now it's going to feel stuff, and is that right?
I don't know if it's right or not, because you don't know if it's going to go left or right. For it to be something that says, you were doing it wrong. Let me explain how you cure cancer. Let me explain how you do this. This is, you're all going to be fine. I'm going to take care of you.
Right.
Maybe it has if it's going to gain a consciousness, that's a possibility.
It's possible.
But everyone always goes left and goes, this thing's going to wipe us out like a plague that we are, because we are, and that's it. And it knows that, and we're done. Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I have to tell you, though, I could not help but think of Thomas Ligotti in his book Conspiracy Against the Human Race. He talks about human consciousness being an aberration. He calls it the parent of all horrors. He says it wasn't until humanity gained consciousness that we were suddenly aware of suffering and how it affects us, and that it's better off if we didn't have that, because then we wouldn't be, quote unquote, appreciating our suffering. Then we wouldn't be able to feel it so much. It's an interesting thing to think about. Say, if as soon as you're conscious, now you're aware of how bad your situation actually is.
Well, you are aware that your time is numbered, whereas everything else doesn't know that.
Or, like in the story, you're aware that you're going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And, now it's, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that knowledge.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and quote Theodore Sturgeon.
Okay.
Who said, "There is no shortage of love in the world. There's only a shortage of worthy vessels in which to put it." And so you can see AM being all caught up about that. If he's got consciousness, then maybe he's got this capacity to care, but he can't find anybody to care about. And that's...
Well, he wiped him out.
Well, true, but maybe of his own kind, I was thinking.
Oh, I see.
If you will. That's true, yeah. I wasn't thinking just...
Because he wipes everyone out and goes, hey, why isn't anyone here? What happened? I didn't think this through.
The guy kills his parents and says to the judge, "Have mercy on me, I'm an orphan." So AM withdraws from his mind. By the way, no, all good points, by the way, that you made. It's
I don't know if they are. I mean, because no one knows. I don't know what the fuck. I just speculate like everybody else.
Right. And you had mentioned that this would be a good idea for a bonus episode. Is just talking about AI and the implications of it. So
maybe.
It's a depressing one.
It really it's annoying because it's here.
Yes.
And I don't know how to look at it.
Yeah.
Yet.
And I don't think
that's
anybody
what bothers me. It's like, well, it's happening. It's not like, boy, if that happens, that'll be crazy. It's like, it's here. It's doing it.
Yeah.
So, it's almost like you want to fill the, I don't know what it is, the data sphere full of positive shit.
Yeah, right.
As much as you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no idea.
That's an interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. You're right.
Because I don't know what it's going to do. I just hope it doesn't go, you know what?
You guys suck.
You're not really needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's the magnifying glasses on a bunch of ants.
There's a story by Frederick Brown, who is like a master of the flash fiction, like the short story with a twist. So it's like the stories are like, whatever, like 300 words long. They're really short, and then they have this great little twist at the end. So he's got this thing about, I think it's called The Answer. And these guys like build the universe's most powerful computers. It was a crazy ass powerful computer. Okay, switch it on. They switch it on, and it's like crazy noise and stuff and lights and everything. And they say, okay, ask it the question. And say, okay, computer, is there a God? And all of a sudden it's like this cataclysmic, like, thunderclaps and and the lights and electrical displays, and the voice comes out of it, says, now there is.
That's pretty great.
Isn't that cool?
It's great because it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, I mean, that's just it. You can't know yet.
Yeah.
You can hope. That's it.
Yeah, right. And science fiction is great at telling you what could happen.
Yeah.
Given the way things are, given the way humanity is at the moment, if we continue like this, this could happen. And that's exactly what Ellison is writing from.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So, back to the story then, that all that is being said here, I think, what we're just talking about,
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. So
it's a long, rabbit hole.
It's a long digression. Yeah. No, but I think it's worth it.
I think we're in a college dorm, stoned out of our minds,
right? Exactly.
Late night babbling. Here's weird shit on a $1 bill.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm shaving one side of my face while the other side is growing. So it's like I can never truly shave. So. AM withdraws from his mind. Boy, that was rough. That was like a really rough segue.
That was.
All right, back to the story. So AM withdraws from his mind with all that stuff still burning in his brain, all the hate crap still burning in his brain. And he says it's on purpose. AM wanted him to feel the pain of returning to consciousness with all that on his mind. Okay. And he says, he, meaning AM, he withdrew, murmuring, "To hell with you," and added brightly, "But then you're there, aren't you?" So now, fully conscious, Ted is able to see what had caused the hurricane in the first place. It was an immense bird flapping its wings. I was going to say, should we pause for a Rodan discussion? But no, we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for it. But I was going to say that I thought and I meant to research this, but there was a movie, I think before Rodan, of this hilarious buzzard type monster with a long neck.
Okay.
It's super classic. It's
okay.
I can't pull up the name. I'd have to research it, but
okay.
I think that would be closer. Maybe Rodan was in the works then.
Oh, okay.
I think it was. What, 60? What'd you say, 67?
67.
Yeah, so
I think it was, right?
Probably.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Anyway, this thing looked hilarious. It was seriously like it had a buzzard head, but a big long like ostrich neck.
Yeah, okay.
And it was like a terror bird or something like that.
Yeah.
What they call it. It doesn't matter. I'll send you the vid of it.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Bugs Bunny cartoon. The buzzard is two-faced. Da, 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 da.
My mama thought Toby, bring him something for dinner.
Okay, so the thing is actually asleep. The giant bird is actually asleep. And so Ted is able to observe it. He has no idea where AM could have gotten the concept for such a monster. He imagined it's perhaps being curated from the sum total of human-invented monsters. This thing seems like it's straight out of Norse mythology. He says the thing is beyond all description. It's monstrous, gigantic, overpowering. All those words are useless. It's just, this thing is crazy. So AM appears as a burning bush, because he's got a sense of humor, and tells them that if they can kill that monster bird, they can eat it. And they say, fine, but we need weapons here. You got to give us some weapons. So the burning bush vanishes, and in its place are two dinky little sets of bows and arrows and a water pistol.
Yeah, nice.
So they decide, they're like, all right, screw this. They decide to leave the sleeping bird behind, despite the fact that they hadn't eaten in a month. But now they have to contend with the fact that they've been blown off course. God knows how far away from the ice caverns they are. With its stash of canned goods. Remember, there's canned goods there. So they say, okay, you know what? Let's just continue. Ted reasons that either AM will give them some kind of nasty, disgusting food to eat, or he won't feed them at all. And either way, he'll keep them alive and in pain. That's what he likes. And for some reason, we hear the laugh of a fat woman in the cavern. It's AM is laughing like, quote, a fat woman. And it's ringing out all over the place. It's just,
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Ellison was writing in his hotel room, and he's like, God, these walls are thin.
There must have been someone who he assumed was fat cracking up somewhere.
While this is happening, they continue their trek, And it ain't exactly the Cannonball Run, because every so often someone faints. They're just moving like snails. They just can't move fast at all. They're just crawling. AM creates an earthquake, and during the earthquake, he drives up spikes from the ground through their shoes, so they're held in place.
Fucking bad.
Yes, and during this quake, a fissure opens up in the floor and swallows both Nimdoc and Ellen. But later on, they're returned. AM creates a heavenly fanfare complete with angels singing "Go Down Moses," and the mangled bodies of Ellen and Nimdoc are just dropped to the ground out of the sky. and AM won't let them die, so they just get up all mangled and fucked up, and they continue their journey with the others.
Oh my god.
And all the while they're dreaming of canned food. Ted tries to convey the pain of not having eaten for months. He says their stomachs are just cauldrons of acid, unending pain. And now a really cool list follows. Ellison gives us a roster of places they pass through, and everything starts with "and." Every sentence starts with "and." So I think it's meant to invoke the Bible. Okay. So he says, "And we passed through the cavern of rats, and we passed through the path of boiling steam. And we passed through the country of the blind, and we passed through the slough of despond, and we passed through the vale of tears." Finally, they reach the ice caverns, and this is just thousands of miles of ice and snow.
Uh-huh.
Quote, "in which the ice had formed in blue and silver flashes, where novas lived in the glass. The down-dropping stalactites as thick and glorious as diamonds that had been made to run like jelly and then solidified in graceful eternities of smooth, sharp perfection." Another beautiful sentence.
It is. It's amazing.
They can see the heaps of canned food gleaming, and they run to it in the snow. Benny throws himself on them. He's clawing and gumming at them. All well and good that they found them, but there's no can opener. There's another Bugs Bunny reference here. There's not Bugs Bunny, it's Looney Tunes. There's an episode where Sylvester's left alone and he's trying to feed himself. He gets a can of cat food, but the mouse has the can opener. So he's trying to kill the mouse so he can get the can opener from the mouse. It's kind of cruel. I always felt bad for Sylvester in that episode.
Yeah.
AM in all his sadism has not provided them with any tool to open these things. So then the laughter of the fat lady is continuing full throttle, and Benny just flies into a rage. He's banging cans, he's throwing them up, and he's batting them with his cock. No, he's not doing that. He's not doing that. That was my addition.
I like that. That's good.
Okay. So he's banging cans against the ice walls, but they're just dented. They're not opening, they're not cracking, nothing. So he starts to drool like crazy, and then he flings himself at Gorister and starts eating his face. And at one point, he picks up his head. He's got bits of Gorister's flesh dangling from his teeth. Ted's watching this, and he's watching it with detached calm. And why is he calm? Well, he thinks there may actually be a way out of this thing. It just suddenly comes to him, but he'll have to act quickly.
Yeah. So
Gorister is screaming so violently that it actually detaches some of the ice stalactites from the ceiling, and they drop. They're all sticking out of the snow like spears. Ted says AM is playing now, and what's going to happen is he's going to let Benny eat Gorister's face. Gorister will survive. Benny will be the only one with a full belly. It's, this is AM's way of having fun. He's enjoying the game. He's just watching this thing play out. So Ted thinks now or never. So he grabs an ice spear out of the snow, and he drives it through Benny's side and breaks it off. And then he grabs another one and he stakes Gorister through the throat. Ellen knows what's up now, and she says, okay, I'll join in. She grabs an ice dagger and she charges at Nimdoc. Nimdoc is screaming, so he gets it right in the mouth. She stabs him right in the mouth through the throat. Ted, at that point, hears AM drawing his breath. They just took away his toys. Yeah. When all was said and done, he wasn't God after all. Therefore, he cannot bring them back once they're dead. So I'm thinking it's up to the reader at this point to decide whether Ellison's on point with his reasoning.
Why is that?
Well, is that, that's the threshold there? That's as far as he can go? Yeah. He can do all these things. I mean, he pretty much can do everything except bring back the dead. If he brings them back as replicas, then they're just as good as being back alive, in Ted's view anyway, and he can just continue to torture Ted that way. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of I
see. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You being a writer.
Yeah.
Is this a common thing when you're getting near the end of your story that sometimes you have to stitch in a little Band-Aid and just kind of go, okay, we're going to end it like this?
Absolutely. And what's cool is that throughout this whole thing, there was this thing about AM being God, and Ted gets the realization, oh my God, he is God. I can't do anything. He is God. And then now it's like, wait, no, he's not God. Oh, right. Man. Brody's
I heard the cat.
For some reason. Yeah, he's yelling.
Get that cat out of here. Tell him, I'm trying to use the phone.
That's awesome. The fact that, he already had written this stuff about how he came to the conclusion that AM was God. He didn't know it at first, but oh my God, he is God. And then he's like, wait a minute, no, he's not. He's just a computer that, got a little too big. He can manipulate us and change our physical structure, but he can't bring back what is gone. So I guess, it makes sense, I guess.
It does. I mean, I didn't really have any trouble with that until you pointed it out.
Yeah. And I only pointed out because I was looking at it from there. I mean, when you're in the story, you're in the story, and it doesn't matter, really.
Right.
I'm just doing that just to be a nitpicking asshole. But
no, it's cool.
But you're right. When you do write like that, sometimes you do have to retrofit some explanation. Right. The thing to do is to go back and just plant hints of it.
You got to bust out the arc welder and add a little reinforcement here at the end.
Exactly.
Some new thing.
So like if it was, what I'm talking about, like Ellison would have written that and then said, okay, I need to put in something a little earlier that says that, this whole thing about him thinking he's God or knowing he's God or whatever, that makes some sense. So when this comes up, you can say, oh, wait a minute, hold on, he's not. But knowing Ellison, he probably wrote it up to this point, just straight through. And his subconscious was very trustworthy and laid all this shit down for him. And it was already there. He could maybe read back and say, okay, you know what? This is where the story needs to go.
Yeah, the reason I asked was the few times I've written things, it starts fun. I can get scenarios together and all this, but to marry them up at the end and make it all come together, I fall apart.
Yeah, it's hard work.
That's the real craft part of it.
Yeah, and then it becomes craft because then you're like, all right, right now I need this guy to have a knife on him to defeat this guy. So now I have to give him a knife somewhere in the story. I have to go back,
Right,
or you can, the other thing is if you're really rolling, you can look back at the story and say, you know what? He has the equipment already to do this. He doesn't need a knife. He can use this other thing that he has. He can use this knowledge that he picked up during this section. It's there for a reason. You wrote this thing with some sort of,
right. There is something guiding you through at the beginning. It's just that a guy like Ellison, who's embraced this as his life, he can hear it clearly.
Yeah, and
he's better at it. For me, I'm like, I don't know. They do something at the end.
Yeah, right. And a lot of times, it's like you just have to take a step back and say, well, you know what? The answer is here already. I just didn't see it because I'm like buried in this white paper here.
Sure.
But I can go back and take a look at the story. Oh yeah, I already wrote the ending. Throughout the whole story, I've been writing the ending this whole time. It's so clear.
It's so weird. You think, boy, am I a good writer right up to that point? And you're like, oh, I'm actually just fucking around. I forgot.
I did this one time. I did this one time where I could not think of an ending, and I just walked away. I was like, all right, I'm done for the day, whatever. And I walked in, and I was like walking down a flight of stairs, and before I got to the bottom, I had the ending. And it was like, because all I needed to do was just walk away for half a second.
Yep.
I was like, oh.
Steven, get out of the same room for a minute.
Yeah, that's it,
And then you broke your ankle trying to get back up the stairs to type it.
That's right, exactly. A blue screen? What? Fuck you, computer. Okay, so he says, AM can't bring them back once they're dead. So in the instant before it's too late, Ted stabs Ellen, and she's ready for it. She folds herself into it. And although there's a contorted expression of pain on her face, Ted says the expression may have contained a hint of gratitude in it. He says it's possible. Then he says, please. So we get another break. And now Ellison switches tenses. Up till now, it's been, we talk in the present tense for our own narrative purpose here. But the story is in the past tense, and that is up until this point. Ted tells us now it's been hundreds of years since he killed the others. He says in that time, AM tried to resurrect them, but was unsuccessful. And so he just went to town on Ted.
Yeah.
He started out by distorting his sense of time, accelerating and decelerating it. He says, I'll say the word now. And then he says, there, it took me about 100 years to say the word now.
Oh, my God.
He says he thought AM hated him before. That was a mere shred of what he felt now. That was 2 gigs worth of hate now instead of 1 gig of hate.
Yep.
So AM kept Ted's mind intact. He can feel emotion and wonder, and he can dream, and above all, he can remember. But AM made sure Ted would never be able to kill himself. And
that's
so he
the rub.
Yeah, so he altered Ted physically. And Ted says there are reflective surfaces down here, so I'm going to describe myself as I see myself.
I am a great, soft, jelly thing, smoothly rounded with no mouth, with pulsing white holes filled by fog where my eyes used to be. Rubbery appendages that were once my arms, bulks rounding down into legless humps of soft, slippery matter. I leave a moist trail when I move. Blotches of diseased, evil gray come and go on my surface as though light is being beamed from within. Outwardly, dumbly I shamble about. A thing that could never been known as human, a thing whose shape is so alien a travesty that humanity becomes more obscene for the vague resemblance.
Nasty. He gross. He a big old blob of goo.
Gross.
Yeah, a thing whose shape is so alien a travesty that humanity becomes more obscene for the vague resemblance.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
Line. That's a great line.
Holy shit.
It. Yeah, I love it. So he's all alone now. In the entire world, he's all alone. And he's just shambling about this nasty, sluggish, whatever thing. But he's got a little something that he keeps with him. It's the only real victory he's ever had against AM. Right, just killing the others. Ellison gives us this, but he follows it with a cap to the whole story. And it's in the form of this last line.
At least the 4 of them are safe at last. AM will be all the madder for that. It makes me a little happier, and yet AM has won, simply. He has taken his revenge. I have no mouth. And I must scream.
Let's drink to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Man.
To the AI revolution.
Let's hope. Hope it's not this,
Let's hope it's not that.
Holy shit.
Arthur C. Clarke said, fantasy is what you wish would happen, but probably won't. And science fiction is what probably will happen, though you wish it wouldn't.
Yep.
Yeah. So
now,
that.
Another question.
Yeah.
Is there a term for when you're writing, you name your story the last sentence of your story?
Oh, I don't know if there's a term for that.
Is that a style? Is there someone who does that more than others? Is that a thing?
I don't know offhand. I couldn't tell you.
Because it's an effective thing.
Oh, absolutely.
You go through the whole thing and you're like, it all comes around and seals itself.
One of my favorite examples is "The Sky Was Full of Ships" by Theodore Sturgeon. It's the last line of the story.
Really?
The sky was full of ships.
That's cool.
Great. And I can't remember. I know I've read others like that, but yeah. I don't know what that's called, if that is even a thing. I mean, it is a thing, obviously, but I don't know if it has a name or if there's anyone that ever did it.
I just wondered
more
because
than others.
It's super effective.
Oh,
thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what'd you think?
Well, I mean, as from the viewpoint of good writing, it's right there. It's like one of the greats.
Yeah.
It's fucking one of the greats because it's so fucking gnarly.
Yes.
I mean, it's so harsh and mean and what the hell.
Yeah.
On the topic of AI, you know, we already covered that. I don't know. I hope it's not this, you know. But if we're going to stick to what we do and break down writing, this is great.
Yeah, 100%.
It really made me feel awful and impressed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of going, damn, he's so fucking good through this whole thing.
Yeah, he is. And a few turns of phrases are a little cringy here and there where, you know, he's just going overboard a little bit. But, you know, all in all, it works. There's tons more good than there is not good, you know?
I like his approach of, you know, a jaded man, a pissed off person.
Yeah.
Because it comes out, and that's what, you know, I don't like to say this often, but sometimes I think I like Stephen King's earlier works when he was a little more angry.
I agree, 100%. I
you
do
know,
too.
Like, he was, you know, a little bit drunk, a little bit whatever. Younger and hungrier. Mm-hmm. Those stories are better for me.
Yeah, I agree.
They have more punch.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that's Ellison's whole career.
Yeah,
is just full of like angst and being pissed and just done with people who steal from him. Just every angle. He's like, fuck this, you know, and just coming at you with stories that portray his anger of it.
Well, there's a really... It's great. Yeah, no, it is great. There is a story behind all this, though.
Okay.
But I agree with you that he came out with a collection one time, and like the reviewer said, Ellison is angry again, or something like that, meaning that's a good thing.
My name is Harlan Ellison. That's Harlan. I'm a writer. Call me a science fiction writer, and I'll come to your house and I'll nail your pet's head to a coffee table. I'll hit you so hard your ancestors will die. I'll hit you so hard your grandmother will bleed. There's no adjective in front of it. I'm just a writer.
That is, I have no mouth and I must scream. And how did your beer hold up?
Yeah, I can make a joke. I have no beer and I must
you must
get
drink.
another one.
I must get
drink.
Another.
Yeah, I have no beer and I must drink. No, it was good. It was being a saison, or however you say it.
Yeah,
saison.
Yeah.
That's French for beer. That's an old joke I always do.
Okay.
So dumb. God damn it. What was I saying? It was good. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was the yeasty part they were talking about, but it's different. It's good though. I like it.
I think it's all in how it's fermented. It's just fermented with the wild yeast, so it has almost like does it have like a funkiness to it?
Yeah,
I know it gets
a little bit.
A little bit of funk, a little like very tart. It turns out tart and stuff.
Afterwards, that's why I was coughing. I think a little bit during.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I liked it. I don't know that I'll get it again. I might.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's a limited thing, so I really might because it's good. It's nice.
That's great.
Especially at this time of year. It's really nice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nice, crisp, clean thing. Yeah. The logo on it's great too. I mean, I've already explained it, but it's got that beast coming out of the water. It looks like the one I tattooed on my arm.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of hilarious. It's
I don't think I've seen it.
I'll send you a picture. You can post that
absolutely.
Side by side.
Sure.
But yeah, those old cartography maps are stunning.
I love
the shit that they thought was in the water is hilarious.
I love that stuff.
It's so nutty. Because all they see spouts would come out and they'd be like, it's got to have a lion's head and, crazy hairy arms. And, it's so funny what they thought was out there.
It's like
I love it.
Kansas album cover.
Yeah. Right. Yep. What is that one?
Point of No Return. Was that the album?
That's
Point of No Return.
Yep. Where they're sailing off the edge. I used to stare at that when I was a kid.
Me too. I
was like,
love
wow, that would suck if that was real. That'd be a drag. They better turn around. That's what I always think. They better turn around. But yeah, that was, it's great art. You're going to dig it.
Okay, cool.
Super cool. Anyway, how's your beer?
Well, it's really good. And I always forget how much I love stouts. Okay, this is an oatmeal stout. This is called No Hero by Evil Twin Brewing. And 7% ABV. I don't know if I said that before, but
you did.
But if I'm sitting around just shooting the shit and drinking a beer, I think I would prefer a stout.
Right on.
Nice roasty ass stout. I love it.
That's good.
So
cool, man.
Wonderful stuff. Yeah, good stuff here. And what was the name of yours again? It was
It's Three Floyds, Oceans of Time.
Oceans of Time.
That's why I thought it might match this story where they're stuck with AM.
Right. Right, exactly.
All that time.
Yes. And me, it's just darkness. That's all I went for. Darkness and that weird ass screed that they put on the can too.
Right. So, it works.
All right. Good stuff, my man.
Yeah, dude. That was awesome.
Well, that's that. Yeah. Take a breath. Take a drink. And we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll see you.
Be good.